My blood work is perfect. My colon is squeaky clean. What do I do? What do I do? I'm going crazy. It was almost worse that there was nothing wrong because now I just can't figure out why I can't go to the bathroom. I'm literally on the toilet sweating. Like I was spending all of my day worried about going to the bathroom. Welcome to the Human OS, the show where we upgrade the software running your life. The bugs, the loops, and the survival strategies you mistook for your personality, we are rewriting them. I'm STORRY, a multidisciplinary artist, singer, survivor, and anthropologist at heart, obsessed with how humans actually work. If you want to live consciously, live bravely, and stop running outdated operating systems, please subscribe. Each episode delivers one tiny upgrade that makes your whole life run just a little bit smoother. Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey healing PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Disclaimer, I am not a counselor, psychologist, or doctor. I am a human sharing my lived experience. I believe that truth doesn't come from a single authority, but from many slices of insight. The more perspectives we gather, the more of the whole pie we get to see. Some episodes come from my own story, and others invite guests and specialists from all walks of life. So for years, I could not poop properly. TMI, but I was severely constipated to the point that my bum was bleeding. And I tried every diet, every supplement, and nothing worked. But you know what did? This episode isn't really about poop, though. It's about what can happen when your body is stuck in survival mode. So when I was 19 years old, I was trafficked by my boyfriend. I knew I had been in an abusive relationship, but I didn't know to what extent of trauma I had been through. To be honest, at the time, I didn't even know I had been trafficked. I started to find methods of healing. I joined Codependence Anonymous, a 12-step group, and I started telling my story through art and music, all of which were super helpful. But I was still having a lot of digestive issues, amongst other issues, but we're just going to focus on the digestive issues today. Constipation, and I was consistently worried about going to the bathroom and what I was eating and how much I was eating and at what times of the day. But technically, on paper, I was one of the healthiest people in the room. I was doing everything right. I was primarily vegan at the time, eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. I made sure I had enough fiber and protein and was trying all different kinds of diets. And I wouldn't call them diets because I wasn't trying to calorie restrict necessarily, but I was mindful of everything that I was putting in my body. I was drinking 2 to 3 liters of water a day. I have my 1-liter mason jar that I carry around everywhere because they remind me of how much I need to drink. So I was drinking like 2 or 3 of these every single day. Nothing was working. So I go to the doctor, right? Because now I'm like, okay, all my family's like, something's wrong. What if there's something really serious? You definitely need to check this out. So first I go to a doctor and the doctor says to me, okay, how long have you been constipated for? I said, it's just really, really tough, but maybe 3 days can go by and I don't go to the bathroom. And he says, well, that's not concerning. And I said, well, it's concerning because I'm not on just a regular Western diet. I'm eating really, really healthy. So yeah, I'm concerned. And he goes, well, it's not enough for me to send you for a colonoscopy because I asked for a colonoscopy. He says, it's not enough. You need to have been constipated for at least 7 days where you do not go to the bathroom in order for me to send you for a colonoscopy at your age. So I was upset because I go, okay, well, 7 days is a really long time. I know how uncomfortable I am just from 3 days of not being able to go to the bathroom. So I can't even imagine what 7 days would feel like in my body. Like I think I might explode or die, like that's a lot of poison to be holding in your body. So I just left. I was upset. I decided to go back. I go back to the doctor, a different doctor this time. And I tell him that it's been 7 days so that he would send me to get a colonoscopy. So I get a colonoscopy. Not fun. Okay, not fun at all to do this procedure. But turns out my colon was fine. So now I'm just perplexed, right? I'm talking to all different kinds of doctors. I'm going to a naturopath. I'm doing an elimination diet. I'm trying all different kinds of things. Nothing. There is nothing wrong with me. My blood work is perfect. My colon is squeaky clean. What do I do? What do I do? I'm going crazy. It was almost worse that there was nothing wrong because now I just can't figure out why I can't go to the bathroom. I'm literally on the toilet sweating. Like I was spending all of my day worried about going to the bathroom. So whatever. I go about my life. I accept this as part of my life. I don't have Crohn's disease. I don't have any situation that the doctors can figure out. So I guess I'm just going to have to live with this discomfort. I found little things here and there through diet and through, drinking lots of water and stuff that would help me a little bit. Like intermittent fasting, I found was helping me because my digestive system seemed to be a little bit slow, but they didn't really fix the root of the problem that I was experiencing. So, still didn't know what it was. Then I started to go to therapy. Years after leaving my trafficker, I don't know, I just thought I was fixed, I guess. I was telling my story to the public. I had released my first singles into the world. I was doing music. I was in a much better place in my life. I had been doing Codependence Anonymous for a couple of years, really enjoyed the group sharing. I didn't really think that I needed therapy per se. I had done some therapy, but I had been doing more cognitive behavioral therapy, and I wasn't finding it really useful. It just wasn't working for me. I just didn't find the right person. And so I just thought, okay, maybe therapy isn't for me. But then I had a friend who I really, really respected, and she had been seeing a therapist that she found extremely valuable. And I thought, okay, well, if she can get benefits out of this, then surely I can. So I started seeing this therapist. She specialized in trauma, but she also used therapies like DBR and EMDR, which were really impactful for me. And she diagnosed me with PTSD. I didn't understand really the correlation of PTSD at the time, but the more that I went through therapy, the more I started to uncover the root causes for a lot of my problems. And a few months after I started therapy, I also met my now partner, who was the complete opposite of my first quote unquote relationship with my trafficker. I felt safe. I felt seen. I felt loved. That was really new for me. So now being in therapy and being in this loving, safe relationship, my body started to shift. And now I wasn't restricting my food intake the way that I had previously. I wasn't worried about gluten or starches the way that I had been. I was just living my life a little bit more. And all of a sudden, my body started to regulate. My body started to digest food better. My body started going to the bathroom. And now I have beautiful poops. I have had amazing poops for years, and I get to eat a lot more different types of food. Not always, I still stick to my healthy, primarily vegan, starch-free food. That's what I love, and that's what I know my body loves the most. But I live my life a little bit freer, and I'm able to have some silliness at Christmas or when I'm traveling or on my birthday. And the reason is because I healed the internal system that was causing me to have a fight or flight response. I came to my therapist one day and I go, oh my gosh, my body is changing. I'm able to go to the bathroom, but I think it's because I'm healing internally, because I'm not holding this stress in my body anymore. I'm not holding this pit of pain and fear inside my stomach. I realized I had been living in this fight or flight mode. And what happens when you're in fight or flight mode is your body sends blood to the extremities so you can fight or run. So it sends this blood to your muscles and it tells your body to slow down digestion because it doesn't really need to do that when it's in that fight or flight mode. It really needs to focus on getting away from danger. But my body had been in this fight or flight mode for so many years, being trafficked, that it didn't know when to turn off anymore. It didn't know how to turn off anymore. And that's how I realized that the PTSD and my digestion were linked. And so I think about a lot of people. We all hold trauma. No matter who you are in the world, you've experienced some sort of trauma in your life. And some people, it's very extreme, and some people, it's not as extreme. But we all hold these traumas in our bodies in certain places. Everybody is a bit different. Some people seem to get a headache. Some people seem to have a tummy ache. Some people, their knees hurt. And it manifests differently in different people. I think about people who have gone to war. I think about people who have been in abusive relationships. And this is why I wanted to share my story. As far as Western medicine has come, it is extremely powerful in certain aspects, but it's a little bit slow in coming into the realization that our body and our minds are inextricably linked and that our minds can actually cause ailments. My colonoscopy was normal. I was ruled out for IBS and Crohn's disease. My blood work was not even normal. Like my blood work was like perfect. My doctor was saying that I had an athlete's test results. So what was it that was causing these issues? And if you're not getting those answers, you need to sit with yourself and try to figure out where it might be coming from. Make sure you do your due diligence and go to the doctors and get your test results. There's all kinds of different alternative methods that you can go, but also look at your mind. Look at where these things might be starting from, where you're holding. I think Western medicine is amazing for structural damage, but it's not necessarily great when it comes to prevention and system regulations. So these are the kinds of things that we have to really take ownership of and advocate for ourselves. I personally think that mental health is like 80% of our health overall. Maybe 15% is food and 5% is exercise. It's all intertwined. It's quite an incredible connection. In terms of timeline, I started to notice shifts in my body within months of going to therapy. And within a few years, I had lost all of the excess little weight I had put on, and I had better appetite. I could listen to my body's signals of when I was hungry and when I was full because I wasn't feeling those things previously. And in general, I just didn't have as much shame around food. I was able to enjoy my life a lot more, and I had better self-talk. My body wasn't broken. It was just protecting me. It had given me this fight or flight response in order for me to survive a really difficult time in my life. And I had to thank it for what it did for me. I'm not saying that you can just eat whatever you want and as long as you're happy, everything's going to be fine. No, that's not how that works. We do live in a physical realm in this physical body, and we also need to give it the right nourishment, the right foods. We have to make sure we move, get that energy flowing throughout our bodies with exercise. But we also have to make sure that we are inputting the right nourishment into our minds. And 90% of what we do is subconscious. Only 10% of what we do is conscious. So sometimes we need external help or we need external methods or tools in order to find those deeper issues that we're having internally that might be causing the more surface level symptoms that we're experiencing. So if you're experiencing digestive issues that you can't really point out what the problem is, if you are having weight that just won't come off no matter what you do, or immunity issues where you're getting sick all the time, or hormonal issues, If your energy is low and you just feel tired all the time and you don't understand why, it might not be your willpower or your lack of knowledge around nutrition or exercise. It might not be your discipline or anything like that. Sometimes discipline without safety backfires. You need to be in a place of peace and love and safety in your life. And if you are granted that luxury, and many of us in the Western world are, then look internally. You can't force your body into healing. You have to feel safe enough for your body to be able to let go. So, at the end of each episode, I want to leave y'all with one tiny upgrade, a small shift that you can make today to upgrade your human OS. Our minds are more connected to our bodies than we think. Next time you have an overwhelming thought or a craving or a problem with your physical health that you can't really pinpoint, ask yourself, where does that feeling come from within yourself without judgment or shaming or trying to put it into too many words? What are you feeling actually? And where is it living in your body? Are you holding a little bit of tension just under your rib cage? Or is it deeper between your hips? Or are you experiencing a little bit of a headache that lives around the temples or the back of your head or the front of your head? Or maybe it's that you start to notice a lot of mucus in your throat. These are all signs of inflammation and maybe a little bit of stress. If you stay with that feeling, close your eyes and stay with that feeling wherever it lives. Just breathe into it and really try to break it apart. Try to feel what that feeling is actually and where it lives. Try to follow that feeling around because it might move. And as you do this, start with 2 minutes. But the longer you can sit with it, the more information will be revealed through sitting with that feeling. So thank you so much for tuning in to The Human OS. Again, my name is STORRY with 2 R's. Please share this episode with anyone who you think might be having some pooping problems or, just a little bit of trauma. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all that good stuff. I will be reading all of the comments. I appreciate y'all.